What's up guys, Jack here. The Asus Zephyrus is a very interesting laptop. It's one of the first machines to incorporate NVIDIA's new Max-Q technology. This allows for desktop class performance and components to be put into a laptop that is much thinner and lighter than previous gaming laptops. Does this sound too good to be true? Let's find out. NVIDIA Max-Q is a new technology or approach to gaming laptop design which allows for high-end 10 series GPUs in a thinner, lighter, and more power-efficient chassis. They have done a lot of optimization of both the hardware and the software to balance the performance and design. This particular laptop has a 1080. Basically, the 1080 in this laptop should perform at a level slightly above a standard 1070 GPU found in a traditional gaming laptop. I just reviewed the Alienware 15R3, which I will link here. The performance difference is right in line with what NVIDIA specs these laptops at. The Zephyrus does achieve higher frame rates, but only slightly higher than the base clock 1070 in the R3. There's also a 1070 version of this laptop, which is more comparable cost-wise to the R3. With these laptops, you can play around other people or in an open setting, and it doesn't sound like your laptop is about to take flight. It is also much thinner and lighter, which can be very valuable if you travel frequently. If the weight, noise, and size isn't a factor to you and you're just using this on your desk as kind of a desktop replacement, then I don't think it's worth it. But ultimately, this is one of those things that comes down to a personal decision where you have to weigh the pros and cons of the Max-Q against the standard gaming laptops. Good news is not all laptops will be Max-Q, so they're not forcing you into the Max-Q approach if it's not important to you. When this laptop was first announced, the design of it really caught my attention. One of the first things you will notice about this is how thin it is. It varies between 17 and 18 millimeters. So you might be thinking, how can a laptop vary between 17 and 18 millimeters? Well, that brings us to one of the coolest design features of this machine. When you open the lid, the bottom expands upward to allow for additional airflow. When it hinges up, the laptop doesn't give any sort of feeling of flex or instability. The port selection on this laptop is fairly standard. On the right side, you get 2 USBs and a Thunderbolt 3 port. On the left side, you get 2 more USBs, a headphone/microphone jack, an HDMI, and the charging port. With the lid closed, it's a fairly nondescript laptop, which I really like. But with the lid open, there are some subtle clues that there may be more going on here than initially meets the eye. The 15-inch display is 1080p with a matte finish. It has a 120 Hz refresh rate, which is really nice, and it also includes G-Sync. I played a variety of games on this laptop over the last week, and I found it to be really kind of an excellent performer all around. It stays quiet even over extended periods of gaming. There's no throttling or instability when playing for 2 hours or over. It just really holds up well. The keyboard and trackpad layout are moved to the front of the laptop with a blank space near the back. This allows for more room for the hardware and cooling. Not having a palm rest in the front takes a bit to get used to, and I wish there was a bit more space at the end, but they do include a palm rest with the machine. The keyboard has a decent feel to it. It has RGB backlighting, and there is a little chassis flex, but I found it to be comfortable for gaming. I like the trackpad and don't mind the position on the right side. It can also overlay a number pad, which is really useful if you plan to use an external mouse. Speakers are on the left and right of the keyboard. They're clear, but there's no low end whatsoever. Spec-wise, this computer is on the top end of gaming laptops, which is kind of expected for the class that it is in. It has the i7-7700 HQ. It has 16 gigs of RAM and an M.2 SSD. Battery life was above average for a gaming laptop. I was able to get a few hours of normal use, which kind of makes sense given the more efficient build of this machine. One little thing I thought was really cool was that they included a screwdriver, an Ethernet adapter, and as I mentioned, a palm rest for the laptop. For me, I really appreciate the reduced size, weight, and fan noise of this laptop, and I would say this is shaping up to be a contender for one of the best gaming laptops of the year. Please subscribe if you guys liked the video. As always, thanks for watching, and see you next time.